Okay.
Hi friends, my name is Griselle with Toughdolltarot, and I'm here to do your reading. Pile number 1, what is your secret reputation? I heard, oops, did I do that? So some of you guys could Steve Urkel from way back when, if you know, you know. So you might be a little bit of, I don't know. I'm hearing a walking hazard. Don't click off just yet. So I just kind of feel like when you enter a room, things just kind of happen. Whether people drop things or once upon a time you could have been clumsy. That was certainly me. And sometimes still. But also I feel like you have this ability to look back in retrospect and pierce right through all of the fog, all of the nonsense, and see the truth of it all. So some of you guys are really big fans of No Doubt, Gwen Stefani, No Doubt. Some of those songs are coming through. I definitely feel like you could have some retro look about you or something retro, perhaps like vehicles that you like, or vintage outfits, vintage makeup, or you like to just view things like that online. There could be that element as well. You could have piercing blue eyes, not necessarily, or just piercing eyes overall. It could be something about you that when people observe you looking at them, they could feel almost like this element of being stripped down to their soul level. That you can pierce through anything and find out the truth. Pile number 1, I definitely feel like your secret reputation also. Part of it is that you could inadvertently make people feel uncomfortable. And this doesn't have to do with anything that you are necessarily doing. But more than anything, I feel like you could be very connected or very telepathic, very psychic, or people could just feel that from you. And it could really kind of serve to make people uncomfortable. Now, it's interesting because I also heard before I started your reading, unmitigated energy. So take that however you will. It just seems like you might have a lot of powers, if you will, powers that be, that might be, I don't know, something that you're newly developing or something that people are not familiar with. And it does make people uncomfortable, and not in a bad way, just uncomfortable. Like, oh my gosh, pile number 3 sees right through all my shenanigans. I can't BS them. So I have to be definitely straight up. I have to be upfront, and I have to be no nonsense. Otherwise they're going to come for me. And I don't think that that's necessarily you, as far as like coming for people. Pile number 1, I also heard nostalgia. So you could have this air about you that, I don't know, it's like whimsical or nostalgia. So where people feel nostalgic around you, like you remind them of an auntie or an uncle or a brother or somebody that they're very close to. And you can carry that energy, or even a passed on loved one from the other side, right? You could carry a lot of their characteristics, their traits, or some of their energy, and people could be a little bit dysregulated by you, okay? Some of you guys can live in the bayou or near the bayou. Anyway, so if this sounds interesting or if this sounds like you, go ahead and join me for the shuffle and your subsequent reading in 3, 2, 1. Welcome. If you're new to my channel, I hope that you find something that is helpful, or at the very least something that's entertaining. And for those of you guys that are my repeat offenders, I am so grateful to have you here. Thank you so very much, especially for your patience, for your donations, for your support, for your comments, all the things. Pile number 1, what is your secret reputation? You have Unfinished Symphony, do you? Okay, and you have peace. Okay, Well, it's very interesting to me because I kept hearing before you're reading this regulation, and that definitely came up during your downloads as well. But the unfinished symphony right here definitely tells me that your secret reputation perhaps is that you have a way of leaving things, whether they're completed, finished or not. You don't care. If it disturbs your peace, you are going to leave it alone. With the number 10, that tells me that it's reached a completion, at least in your mind. And even if it's not complete, not done, not ready, you will move on. You will end it. You will continue on your merry way to seek peace. If it disturbs your peace, if it is too difficult, if you meet a lot of obstacles, I feel like you're going to take it for a sign that it's simply not for you. Now, I definitely feel like people can misinterpret this as you simply being somebody that gives up easily. But I feel like you are somebody who really listens to the universe. You watch for signs in the universe. And it seems like if you're pushing too hard, putting too much of your energy into something, you're simply not going to have it. You're just not going to do it. Especially if it seems like there is no hope on the horizon of things changing, or you being able to get an ally in order to complete whatever this is. Now, if this is like your musical, if you're a musical, if you have, you know, a couple of things written, or if you're writing a book, things like that, and you've left things, I heard half-assed. People are so mean. Anyways, if you've left things like halfway done, because I definitely feel like you're doing way more than what other people are doing, and they're busy kind of riveted on your energy. Let's be clear about that, because I have all this fog right here. And it's interesting because people seem to not want to mind their own side of the railroad or the train tracks, but they definitely want to mind yours. So they want to weigh in. They have high expectations of you, which would be why I feel like you get quite a few people saying, well, you know, pile number one, they're a runner. They don't complete things, blah, 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 or they were so close to achieving this and then they dropped it. And it's like, they're not asking the whys. Well, why was this dropped? Well, maybe you lost a passion for it, or maybe perhaps you're incorporating it in something else in order to develop something better. So I don't know, but I feel like your secret reputation is that you're going to protect your peace at all costs, that you're not going to fiddle-faddle with anything that just doesn't make sense to you. If it is disruptive, including family, including close friendships, including whatever, if it doesn't really have a harmony about it, harmonics, okay? Yeah, if it's not within your scope of vibration, of harmonics, whatever you want to call it, if it doesn't call to you personally, that you're simply not going to go about it. So I feel like that's the truth of the matter. But your secret reputation is that you're a runner. Perhaps that you're just going to run and quit on things. That could be jobs, that could be people, relationships, the whole 9 yards. But you aren't in search of peace, and I don't call that a bad thing at all. So hang in there with me. Pile number one, what is your secret reputation? You have the Queen of Swords, that you are sharp with your words, that you have incredible, you're an incredible wordsmith. What is this? I never quite noticed that. Looks like a VHS something. I don't know. But look at all these traps that maybe perhaps you have your house booby trapped, that you can booby trap things with words, that you can set people up. And keep in mind, this is a lot of it about what other people think, right? So I feel like with the Queen of Swords, you could be somebody that if people are not careful with you, that they realize they stepped on a landmine, or that they stepped on a, what is this called? Where it traps your leg, and that's the end of that. You ain't going nowhere. Yeah, so you could be a little bit like, okay, gotcha. Like if you want to play games, you know, then we're going to play games. And I feel like you could dress people down with your words. You could be somebody that is considered a little bit scary. Like, you know what? You want peace at all costs, but if they come for you, they'll find you. That's what your secret reputation is. It's almost like I'm getting this meme in my head of the monk online that had apparently a bad day, and he's trying to cross the street and he's flipping people off, and his robes are like flowing in the wind. A little bit like that. You're about peace, love, and light, but let somebody come for you, and they're going to find out that you also bite, okay? Pile number 1, I don't think that's a bad thing. What is your secret reputation? That you can get bored a little bit easily. That you can get bored with tradition, that you can get bored with the status quo, that you can get bored even in relationships with people as well. That sometimes when you get offers, you're kind of like, yeah, I'm going to think about that. And maybe perhaps you don't even like decline them or accept them. You just kind of continue going about your business. You might not even say anything, even if you get an offer, like with a person, hey, let's go out to dinner. And then you're like, oh, well, yeah, let me think about it, or I'll get back to you. And that's the last they hear from you. Oops. Okay. So I don't know. I'm a little bit like that too. So I kind of feel like, you know, if the vibe ain't right, or if they're going to bring drama or whatever, then I feel like, yeah, it is just not for me personally. And then again, pile number 1, I'm definitely getting the forehead thing. So those of us girlies or guys that have big old foreheads, because we be smart, I'm just saying that. Then this is just kind of additional confirmation for you. Pile number 1. What is your secret reputation? If you are liking these kind of readings, if you can take a moment to like, share, comment, subscribe, that would really mean so much to me. Also, don't forget to click that little notification bell where you would actually find out that I'm dropping further readings. Being as I'm erratic lately, and I slowed down quite a bit, but that's a whole different story. I'm going to try to get back on schedule here. In the meantime, that'll let you know when I do drop further readings. Pile number 1, what is your secret reputation? You have the 2 of Wands. Yeah, that, you know what, you are going to go ahead. I heard hold that tiger. Some of you guys are like of age, like, you know, my age. But you could have a lot of like television downloaded into your brain, like old jingles and things like that. You could like sporadically pop out with those. But also pile number 1, the 2 of Swords is kind of like, I'm gonna hold off and make a decision when I really know. Okay, so you could kind of create stalemates, or not really make a decision, which is, by the way, making a decision, which kind of confirms this like 4 of Cups energy right here. You know, or maybe you make decisions and you don't allow people to know what those decisions are, and so they're left a little bit in the dark. But also that you have stalemate situations and in which maybe there's a decision that needs to be made, but you're like, okay, well, it'll work itself out one way or another, and that's still, once again, a decision. For some reason, it took me a long time to realize that not making a decision is a decision. I'm like, I don't get it. So maybe you guys could be a little bit like naive, or when people say stuff like that, you're like, wait, what? I don't get it. But that's totally me. I have those moments too. So no big deal. What else do we have as your secret reputation? On 4 of Hazards. So with a 4, you could be a little bit like, I don't want to say like you would hunker down, but with the 4s, they're very stable, but they could be very stoic as well. Very much like, all right, even this person's like, I don't want to hear that. I ain't trying to hear that. So maybe you have instances where you don't like what people have to hear, and so you'll just be like, all right, whatever, I ain't trying to hear that. But you could have a lot of people also that want to disturb your peace, or that want to be a little bit in the loophole, or they want to see everything about you or know everything about you, and maybe you're not trying to have that. Maybe you like your privacy, such as myself, and you like to do your own thing, and you feel like it's nobody's business. And then this person has all of this like food in the background, so you could be what they call it, like a homesteader, or you could be one of those people that you know, has a go bag and is always keeping up with things, and is always like, all right, if this were to happen, like, you're very much, I know what the next step is, and I've communicated to my friends, my family, what the next step is, just in case. So those could be, I don't know, like survivalist type of things, okay? Yeah. So pile number 1, what else do we have for you? What is your secret reputation? Yeah, that you prepare for like the good, the bad, the ugly. And maybe sometimes people don't really understand this. And maybe people think, well, that's hoarding. And it's like, I feel like, but you're that person that you're like, yeah, well, but when the ish hits the fan, you're going to come to my house and you're going to be like, hey, I don't have these resources. Can I have some? And you're going to be ready with that. So that includes like iodine and rubbing alcohol and having medic kits or food resources or things on how to, survival things on how to make things in one skillet or make things from scratch once again, because we've lost the ability, a lot of us have, on how to cook because everything is prepackaged. Anyways, you get the gist. So you could be someone like that. You're definitely different. Like you think outside of the box, and peace is at the utmost of importance, but you're ready for war as well. And maybe perhaps because you've lived in a war zone or with people that are constantly warring against you. And so you understand that peace has a cost to it. It's not free. Okay. So what else do we have, Kat? A two-faced friend. Yeah, I feel like you've turned your back against people that are dualistic, that are two-faced, that in the end you find out that they're talking ish about you. Or even that if you hear people talking ish about other people, you realize that, well, it's just a matter of time if they haven't already done the same thing to you. So with this lavender in the background, I never actually quite noticed it or focused on it before. I definitely feel like this can be indicating that you are in touch, very in touch spiritually, and you can tell when people are being catty behind your back, and that's just not for you. Once again, if it disturbs your peace, you're going to keep it pushing. So the number 1222 on camera right now. What else do we have? Basket. Recognition, reward for merit. Yeah. First of all, I'm going to say the obvious. Like, people really reward you for your merit, even if it's silently. The number 23 can mean something to someone. I'm just seeing that right now. But all of your efforts are not like unwarranted or unrewarded. I feel like you've gotten your flowers. I feel like you are on the coming up and ends, even though that's not a word, but you're there. I feel like you have a lot of abundance coming to you, coming for you, and that you've built yourself. And people really realize that you have worked diligently for this. So it wasn't just handed down to you, handed over to you, and things like that. Yeah. Focus in here right now. People realize that you've worked really hard, and with the star on this egg, that you've maybe even created something that people really don't understand, because this egg is coming, like the cosmic egg is right here. And maybe perhaps it is that you are creating something currently or working on things that people really don't understand. And they feel like you have an unfinished symphony with them, but really it's like you have a symphony in a harmonic with the world, in a vibrancy and a congruency. Congruent, I don't know how to say that word. You get the point. But I feel like you are divinely protected because there's a lot of fog right here. And I don't feel like necessarily you are foggy minded, although some people could be. I feel like the fog is lifting if that's the case. I feel like for the most part, other people are in the fog about, they are in the gray area where they don't really understand what's going on with you, but that they see you getting your accolades and things like that, your rewards. And some people feel, I'm not going to lie, that they should be in line with you to collect those. Like, for some reason, whatever it is that you are doing, that they are partially due for their own abundance through you. So it could be that maybe like you had a coach that trained you how to be, whatever, like in ballet or gymnastics or gym or basketball, football, whatever, and you have this coach, and the coach is like, well, I need to be recognized too, that sort of thing. But you were the one out in the playing field. So I feel like you could have a lot of people like that as well. And a lot of people that are stating, well, it's not finished. This isn't done. It's not over till I say it's over. So this could be a lot of exes, boyfriend, girlfriends, family members, things like that. So hopefully this makes sense to you. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if you saw anything that I didn't see. Much love to you. Until next time, namaste. Hi friends, my name is Griselle with Toughdolltarot, and I'm here to do your reading. Pile number 2, you chose this lovely image on your entire screen, and your downloads go as follows. Now, prior to recording, I started thinking about a store that refused to carry a product that I would like to purchase, and my brain this morning was very inquisitive as to why, and it was right away kind of like, well, why wouldn't they? Why are they trying to push their ideas and notions and feelings upon other people? It's a small town. Why would they choose to do that? Well, then I had to tell myself, hey, G, you're being a little bit confrontational, a little bit too early for a little bit of no reason, because this is like a moot issue. So I definitely feel like part of your reputation is that you could be somebody who is very confrontational, but also I hear that you're brainiac. You are the 1-2. You are, I'm hearing you are the kicker. So maybe somebody's into kickboxing or Muay Thai or some kind of like, I don't know, aerial yoga or whatever, something about your feet, something about your legs, feet. You are quick to do like a roundhouse on somebody if they want to confront you. I don't know if this is necessarily like fighter vibes. I mean, I do feel like it is, but you could be a verbal sparrer. Is that a word? I just made it up. You could be somebody who has such intensity about you that your mind will take you places. And I feel like this spooks people because rarely do people feel such passion about the things that they, quote, believe in. Or I feel like it's almost like even a thought can just kind of set you off. And I don't mean this to be like in a bad way. I feel like if you have passion in your life, passion in your heart, if you stand for something, if you really have a belief in something, then I feel like that's great. I mean, what the heck? A lot of people are walking around dead. I'm just going to put it just like that. So your secret reputation is that you will take anyone to the mat according to what it is that you believe in, that you will also defend the defenseless, and you will stand up for the people that are hopeless. I don't know why I'm hearing that, but I'm definitely hearing that. So pile number 2, another thing that I was downloading, this is my second time trying to record, is that you or someone, your reputation is that you have a lot of intensity, yes. But your secret reputation is that you know how to dial back your intensity, but that there will be signs. You know how people say, well, I won the lottery, but there will be signs or something like that. I can't remember how that goes. I think I messed that one up, but I think you know what I'm talking about. So if there's any doubt whatsoever, I feel like you can kind of, if you were to go au naturel, and just be yourself, it would really frighten people. But I feel like you definitely tone yourself down because you realize that you can come across that way. A little bit in your face, a little bit, I'm hearing the word fighty, even though it's not a word, a little bit brawly. So also pile number 2, you could be someone like myself, like you could make words up even prior to shooting this video. I was thinking about the image and all of a sudden I started having these like words that I make up in my head that are cuss words, let's be real, and I actually make them up. I don't know why my brain functions that way, it just does. And so sometimes these words will stick with me and it will become a thing, and I try not to use them in public because, you know, it's not cool. But here we are, sometimes using whatever in public. So I definitely feel like you could be somebody who can make up words, but I also feel like your secret reputation is that you have very few words, but when you speak, let me tell you, do people's backs snap? Like, I just woke up, literally, do your reading. I haven't even had coffee. Coffee's made, but I feel that intensity, that I need to be on my best behavior with you, that you're going to scrutinize everything, that, and I don't feel like it comes from a critical place. So your secret reputation is that you're not critical. People originally maybe could mistaken your intensity for criticism, but I definitely feel like you will latch onto something if there is a problem with it ethically or morally or something that goes against your belief system. I'm getting also, of course, I got to throw that in there, humanitarian defense. So if it goes against humanity, crimes against humanity, you're going to start speaking up. You're going to start saying things and so on. So pile number 2, I definitely feel like your secret reputation is that this is a great ally. That would be AKA you, my friend. And also that whatever weapon you choose or whatever arsenal that you have on hand, that you can actually weaponize that to win any war. Also, I'm hearing that pile number 2, you've been through a lot of things that has really evolved you. It's like an evolution, which caused a revolution in your life, in your heart, and also that you've gone through a lot of dark night of the souls, a lot of wrestling with self, and that you do not spare yourself this intensity. You do not spare yourself this level of scrutiny. I feel also that your secret reputation is that you could be very harsh with yourself. If people were to listen to your inner dialogue, or those in your closest circles were to listen, and I feel like some have been privy to it, they would be like, wow, that's pretty harsh. Can you're that harsh with yourself. Well, that explains a lot about your outer world. So I don't feel like you are, your reputation is someone that wants to just fight for the heck of it. I'm also hearing pile number 2, that part of your secret reputation is that everyone wants you. Everybody wants you. Okay, I know the lyrics don't go like that, but I'm just faking it because it's what came to my brain, and I'm going to give it to you just the way I got it. Your secret reputation is that people love this intensity as long as you're not riveted on them. That's a caveat to that story. Now, pile number 2, I feel like people would love the idea that they could, quote, wind you up and set you off in a different direction. In other words, like, manipulators would love to think that they can come around you and get you all fired up, wind you up, and set you down. And all of a sudden you would march on and be one of their flying monkeys. Now, this could be nothing further from the truth. And I feel like this is like a secret desire in other people's hearts. But I digress. So what is your secret reputation? Is that people will definitely squirm under your scrutiny. But if you're observing, or if other people or other things are the target of your scrutiny, that they would love to be present, that they would love to be in your brain, that you have an incredible mind, that you actually think of things that other people around you simply would not think of, and also that you've been involved in many battles. And so maybe perhaps people might think at this point in time, your secret reputation is that you might be battle weary, or that you're battle ready, or that you're combative simply by nature. But I don't believe that this is true at all. And so this reminds me of another incident once upon a time. And I do know that some coworkers watch me in spite of, hey. So I went to a different store, and it was kind of funny because I was holding down the fort for other people while they went to this Vegas trip. And I introduced myself to an employee, and he tells me, oh, they already warned me about you. And it was kind of amusing, but I was taken aback a little bit. So I feel like you have that reputation that you come with a warning label, period. Okay. And I feel like we live for it. There is a vitality about you. There is an edginess about you, a sexiness for sure. Now your part of your secret reputation is that you don't even see how attractive you are because you're all in it. Like your brain is engaged, your eyes are locked, your hands are like, okay, in position to go rumble if that's what need be. Your knees are slightly bent. You are ready to pivot, move, bob, weave, and do whatever it is that you got to do when you're in the fray. But I feel like what you don't understand is that other people see how incredibly sexy that is, whether you're male or female. And I do realize I have a lot of different demographics in as far as people that watch this channel. But it doesn't make a difference. Keep in mind, it's wild how our brains. But I definitely feel like part of your secret reputation is you being really focused. It could be on school. It could be on, I don't know, I'm hearing geography, whatever that means. Maybe you're studying to be a pilot. I don't know your life, right? But it could be any of these things. Whatever it is that you're riveted on, other people are riveted on you. Your secret reputation is that you're completely oblivious to how attractive and how scary at the same time you could be. So if this is you, or if this sounds interesting or riveting, go ahead and join me for the shuffle and your subsequent reading. And 3, 2. Welcome, welcome. If you're new here, I hope that you find something that is helpful or encouraging here. And for those of you guys that are indeed my repeat offenders, I am super grateful to have you guys all here. You know what's up. So pile number 2, what is your secret reputation? You have fork in the road and you have regeneration. Wow. So right off the bat, I'm going to say, if this can come in clear, that, oh, I don't have my glasses. I'm going to say that one of the things that people really talk about is how people around you can appear not to know a lot about what's going on in your life. But when you do approach forks in the roads, basically like endings, I'm looking at the number 13 as the death card in the traditional tarot, the Rider-Waite. Then I have the regeneration, right? Look at all this land like burning up and this resilient little tree or sprig. I'm not sure what that is. But I feel like your secret reputation, once again, talks about how like you do things a lot on your own. Maybe perhaps you arrive at decisions on your own. You arrive at forks in the road. Which way do I go? What is my next step? And you, look at this monkey here messing around. And you have the owl right here. You're not somebody who is going to pull someone into the fray and say, hey, you know, I have this going on and I'm at this fork in the road. Which way do I go? I'm not really entirely sure. You could take a lot of hikes by yourself. This reminds me of a trail that I like to hike. It's pretty cool. Somebody had actually put a banner similar to this in the middle of nowhere. I like things like that. But I definitely feel like you are not one to ask for directions, and not in a bad way. I feel like you listen to the beat of your own drum. I feel like you follow your own true north, meaning that you are going to do what is good for you, and you're going to allow or give little or no explanation to other people, aka onlookers or looky-loos. It doesn't make a difference. Even if it happens to be like people within your circle, I feel like you've habitually gotten into this point where you are not asking for permission, or you're not asking for, hey, is this socially acceptable? Or you're not asking for, hey, what do you think about these things? I feel like you will make your own analysis and then you will do your own thing. That's why I feel like the background here is so nebulous. Now, another part of your secret reputation is that you have a very mysterious way of arriving to your next step, okay? People want to go, for example, when I moved here, people are like, what brought you to no man's land in the middle of the small town in the middle of California, nowhere? And it's interesting to me because people are so riveted on that. It's like, well, why did you come here? And I'm like, why are you here? No, I'm all ready to fight. Why are you here? I have the right to be here. Why are you here? What do you want? But people could really want to know a little bit more about you, and that you're very mysterious, that you have, your defenses up, and that even if they ask you something benign, your secret reputation is that they don't know what's going to trigger you. Now, I don't feel like you have the reputation of that you're explosive, that you're, careless or reckless and things like that. I feel like that's something totally different. This is very purposeful, and I hope that that's coming across as so, because I don't feel that reckless energy. Maybe perhaps when you were younger, you were reckless, but I don't feel like this is what that is currently. Now, your secret reputation also is that not only will you make these decisions and you'll make it seemingly like out of the blue, or people don't really understand it, and it's really for you to understand, not for other people. But I also feel like with the regeneration right here, the number 46 can have a special meaning. April, maybe you have an April birthday, maybe April 6th is your birthday. I don't know your life, right? So, October might be something, you might be a Libra, who knows? But anyways, for some reason, I'm seeing almost like a swing on that. And so you could be somebody that really self-regenerates in order to really grow. I feel like you burn off the things that just don't work for you any longer. And it might take you a minute or two to really determine those things. But I feel like in the end, you wind up burning it yourself. And I mean that metaphorically, of course, but doing away with things that don't work for you, that aren't on your mission, that aren't part of your, you know, you have to decide, fork on the road. Do I bring the monkey with me? You know, ha ha he he, that's going to be for somebody else. I'm all ha ha he he, that's going to be for thee, but no, that's going to be for a different pile. I don't feel like you're going to be somebody who would take the monkey with you on the road. If it was in need of help, in need of care, that's one thing. I feel like you're definitely a protector or a protectoress, whatever. We don't read sex on this channel. We definitely read energy. Now, that being said, I definitely feel like some of my guys have picked this pile, and I get why. Now, a lot of you guys could be going to the gym. I feel like a lot of you guys could be even teaching technical courses or taking them, or something like very physical. Maybe you do a very physical job. Maybe you have to wear like a bandana and things like that. If you're part of the ICE Club, get off my channel. I just said that. So yeah, probably lose people for that, but I've lost people for less. So I'm going to say, you know, if this was not meant to be anything other than, but I'm saying if you're having to hide your face because of what you do, that's a problem. Okay. Just putting it out there. But for the rest of you guys, I definitely feel like you are somebody who has clear intent. And I feel like people know your heart. Your reputation is that you're going to kick butt and take names later. Okay. And that could be quite intimidating. Yeah, you're definitely intimidating to other people. So pile number 2, what is your secret reputation? And I keep getting in my mind's eye, almost like a mother-in-law, and you know, who kind of rules the roost, and everybody else around her is, they fall in line. It's a matriarchy of the family, and they fall in line, and people are intimidated by her, that kind of a thing. So it could be you, or I don't know, people could see you this way. But pile number 2, you have the 2 of Wands. Yeah, so you have a lot of options, a lot of choices. Something about the way that you make your choices, people don't really understand, once again. And we already talked about that with the fork on the road. So something about the way you make your moves and the way people feel or perceive you making moves. It's like, don't you want like an easier life for yourself? And you're like, that is pointless. Everything is meaningless, and this is what matters. So whatever it is that is on your heart, whatever it is that really calls your attention, that you're willing to fight for, it could be your family, it could be your job, it could be human, you know, humanity itself. It could be being an advocate for the underdog or the frail and the elderly and children. I don't know your life, once again. But people don't really understand like what side you're going to pick sometimes, and they're a little bit nervous, but they're definitely intrigued as well. So you're definitely somebody who's incredibly intriguing. You're not one to be trifled with, because while you don't turn that attention in a negative way on people, like deliberately just for the fun of it, I definitely feel like people on the other side of that can feel quite differently about it. So your secret reputation is that you definitely have options, and when you make your selection, I think people are a little bit surprised, whatever that means to you. Oh yeah, wow. So this is my very favorite card in the entire deck. Now, if you guys are interested in these cards, this is a Zombie Tarot. Get you this deck. It is beautiful. But I love the fact that how like she literally ripped out his heart, and he's still there for her, and she's almost like she's crossed over to the other side. So there could be definitely people could be attracted to you that are not like you at all. People could be interesting. People could really, how do I put that delicately? People could really want to get their hair messed up by you. That's a polite way of saying they would love to bed you, wed, and not wed you. I don't know. But they would love to kind of, yeah, have some passionate time with you. Maybe the number 6 has something to do with some special meaning with you. Yeah, but I feel like you attract people of all different walks. People that are similar to you and people that are complete opposite. Now, I feel like also people that are like, oh, you know, I want somebody who will fall in line, who's very traditional, very calm, very peaceful. Those people especially are drawn to you. Don't kid yourself, okay? And I feel like they're drawn to you romantically, okay? There is a lot of flowers right here. So I feel like the way that you stand up for things, for people, for causes is very attractive, very alluring, very aromatic. Why would that be aromatic? I don't know, because I just heard it in my head. So maybe perhaps people love your fragrance, the way that your skin smells, your pheromones. It's getting a little bit saucy for me. So I think you get the gist, the point. And you can have people that have like internal love affairs with you, like internal dialogues of, oh my gosh, I'm so, you know, wait for pile number 2. When you meet them, you're going to fall in love with them, but they are a whole different breed. And that is you, pile number 2. So when people talk about you and your secret reputation, like if they were to introduce you or kind of brief somebody before you come into the room, they're like, well, wait, I'm hearing wait till you get a load of this. And I think that was from Batman, like the Joker, Jack Nicholson. But yeah, anyways, I think that people love to introduce you to other people. The number 1101 right now on camera, one of my favorite numbers. And yeah, definitely. I feel like people love to introduce you to people. They love the shock value that you have on them. They love the fact that they are your friend or your coworker or your ally in some way, shape, or form, or something like they're on the right side of you and they would love to introduce you so that you can shake up other people's worlds and they can see the reaction. And I feel like you could be a little bit oblivious to that. Maybe you even intuitively know about it, but you don't care. You make no mind about it. You just go about whatever it is that you're doing. And once again, it goes back to riveted intent, right? That is your focus. So pile number 2, this has been a super fun reading, but I had a lot of stops and starts along the way with you. So maybe that is part of your energy as well. Your secret reputation is that maybe you could be taken in small doses, especially if you're on like 10, if you're kind of wound up for a cause. It's like people's eyes are going to be popping out of their heads. But they're going to want to watch and see where this goes and what you do and what you say. And especially they love to be privy to what you're thinking, because definitely you could have like a degree in psychology, or simply you could be somebody that easily psychologizes another person. It's not even a word. Here we are. So pile number 2, if you are liking these kind of readings, if you're resonating with me, if you're amused, please do click the like, share, comment, subscribe to my channel. That's not even a click, but I think you get the point. And if you could also please click your little notification bell, that way you could be notified when I drop further readings. So what is your secret reputation? You're like, stop, MFR. So maybe you do have a little bit of a potty mouth like I do. You're like, the buck stops here. I'm going to defend what is mine, even if they are different. Maybe, and this brings me back to, you know, even if they're not from this country, or if they're alien, or if they're, you know, from a different family, it doesn't make a difference. I will protect the weak. She is maybe not weak though, but, you know, she's a zombie child. So she can, in theory, turn around and bite this person. But your secret reputation is that you make everything flourish, that you really focus on things and then they grow, and that it is a beautiful thing to watch, but that you're like, nope, I don't need no help, I got this. And the background is very gray. It could be very dismal, so you could function with, I'm hearing a lot of a little. In other words, like you don't need a lot in order to function. Maybe you're a minimalist. Maybe perhaps you just make do with the things that you have. And you could be very creative about it. And it's a little bit shocking because other people are willing to give you more or to help out or whatever, but you're not one to ask. You're like, all right, that's enough. You've come close enough. So that's part of your secret reputation. Also the Hermit, that you love to spend time by yourself. And I can relate to this, that you can spend hours by yourself, days, weeks, it doesn't make a difference. That you always have something entertaining you. And I definitely feel like people would love to get into your presence, into your space, into your home, whatever, to see what you do for leisure time, whether it's bonbons or reading a book or watching something amusing, unwinding, relaxing. People want to know, like, what do you spend your time on when things are less intense, which is like never when you're around people, right? You always have like some fire that you bring. You could be a fire sign even, or perhaps even you can have Virgo in your chart heavily addressed or heavily in your chart. Now, something about the clock being a little bit like off. Yeah, when you're off, people want to know what to do when you're off, when you're not like working, when you're not around them. What do you do in your own personal time? What do you do when you withdraw, when you disappear from social media, when you're not in the public eye, when you're not around humans? What do you do? It seems like you spend a lot of time by yourself once again, and that you enjoy it, that you make no apologies for it. And it is a great mystery to other people. I feel like it vexes some people. It's kind of funny. So pile number 2, your secret reputation is that it's hard to get into your inner circle. And once you're into the inner circle, it is very hard to get to your inner circle, which is where I feel like people would prefer to be. So if you get my innuendo there, wink, wink. Pile number 2. You have the shark. What? Take care or there will be a loss of material wealth. So maybe perhaps people, maybe you could be, you could be a loan shark. I mean, by all characteristics, you might be able to. But interesting, I might pull another card for this one. Yeah, but with the shark is like, very few have command of the shark. Like really nobody does. And I think about the shark. The shark is very feared, but for people that love sharks, they are very revered. I got one of my friends, I got her a plushie that was a shark because she loves them so much. She loves hammerheads. She does not watch my channel at all. That is not her jam, and that is fine. But I'm gonna say, with the shark right here, you could be somebody that is, your secret reputation is that your bark is just as bad as your bite, okay? Like what you see is what you get. That could be a part of it. Also, that you are unpredictable and very mysterious, that you're a whole different species. Like even sharks, among sharks, you have like the, I don't know my sharks, sorry, like the hammerheads and the tiger sharks and you have all different kinds, and they have all, they're all recognized by different behavioral patterns, well, and physical patterns, obviously, but that they all are temperamentally different and aggressionally different. I don't know. You get the gist. So people think that you are a bit of an anomaly, and not to anger you, not to mess with you, that sort of thing. Courage, a journey, either physical or mental. Yeah. And people, I definitely feel like they get lost. They get lost in thought with you. They can get carried away. But also I feel like people can get really lost in your story. Like, where do you come from? Where have you been? Especially the where have you been, to be like this tough and this rough and this tumble. So, and again, this doesn't have to be physical. I feel like a lot of you guys can get there if you need to, but I feel like mental, spiritual, emotional, like where did you get your toughness from? Where did you come from that things have to be the way they are? And how is it that you take up these causes and you're so very different from everyone around you? So that is what I have for you. Let me know if this reading landed. I feel like a lot of people would be picking this pile. I feel like this is my pile, but I could be wrong. So anyways, much, much love to you. Until next time, namaste. Hi friends, my name is Griselle with Toughdolltarot, and I'm here to do your reading. Pile number 3, you chose this lovely image on your entire screen, and your downloads go as follows. What is your secret reputation? Your secret reputation is that you could get very bored with people, with situations. Very similar, I think, to pile number 2, but a little bit of like been there, done that. I definitely feel like your secret reputation is that you could require a lot in order to get stimulated. Now that was unexpected, but I definitely feel like you're somebody who, your reputation could be that you look at things like, oh, well, that's nothing new, or you need to do better to impress me. So maybe a little bit jaded. I do get some femme fatale Or what is the male version of femme fatale? Male fatale? I don't know. But I definitely feel like there is a lot of attractiveness to you. You could be somebody that has like hooded eyes. You could have different colored hair or different styled hair. I love different hair, even though I have been a normie for quite a while now. Interesting. At least my hair has. Your secret reputation is that you will look at things, maybe even like try out different makeup trends and things like that, but that you don't really resonate with any one thing, that you will do bits and pieces of what you enjoy, what you like. And it's almost like, how do you like me now? But beyond that, your secret reputation is that people could appear or think that you're like judging them or that you're bored with them when you're listening to an inner dialogue. And once people actually really understand this, they get really curious about what it is that is piquing your interest or what has your attention, to the point that you kind of check out mentally or even visually. This is giving me the vibes of like a mom watching children on the playground, and it's like you slip into this, even though you're watching the kids, and make sure that there's no danger or that they don't fall and like hurt themselves or whatever, or that whatever, that your brain is elsewhere, that you might be doing like a list of, a checklist of, okay, I need to get this, I need to do that, or whatever, or replaying conversations in your mind. So your secret reputation is that people don't really know what you think, what you're thinking, but a lot of assumptions are made about your mind, about your mindset, and about your attitude. And I feel like it just has to do with a separation between like what your face says, because I have RBF face. So if you have RBF face, right, that could be one thing, but what's going on in your brain totally is removed from what is going on site, is what I'm hearing. So interesting. Also, how they say on site. So, you could have that face of like, all right, it's on. If you want to bring it there, then I guess it's on. If we're going to go, we're going to go. So you could be a little bit of a fighter, or your secret reputation is that you could be a fighter if people want to cross you, but that if they leave you alone, that you're going to be peaceful about things. That could be one thing. That you might try new makeup tricks or new makeup techniques and things like that. Or maybe you're an influencer, or you're an MUA. You like to do makeup, other people's makeup and things like that. That you're not afraid to try new trends. And if it works out, great. If you splice them and get something totally different, that's also great. For the guys, I'm also hearing that your secret reputation is that you like to try, like mix and match. You do your own thing. You could, for example, like use... like very dark, let's say I'm seeing dark cargo pants for some reason with a lot of pockets, right? And then have like, I don't know, a vest over it with no shirt. That might be a look that somebody goes for, or you just simply work like that. You do whatever it is that you do, dress in this manner or something similar, but that you're very versatile, that when it comes time to clean it up, that you will actually, you could be polished from head to toe, that sort of thing. But something about your remains high end. Something about your remains couture. Even if you're a man, it could be that your beard is all lined up, or that your hair is like, okay, it goes from a number 0 to a number, 1, and then it goes to 2, and then it jumps to like a 4 as far as your hair goes. I don't know. I mean, you could be in other words, very particular about how you have it cut, about how you want it. Somebody here has their eyebrow kind of shaved with a line going across it, like, how the guys and gals do nowadays. Not gonna lie, I did that once upon a time. Because why not? It's just an eyebrow. Big deal. But anyways, your secret reputation is that you listen to a lot of things and you easily digest what is being said as well as what is not being said. And I feel like the conclusions that you draw 9 times out of 10 are really accurate, and people are actually stunned. You are, your secret reputation is that you might be low-key, just an observer, but that people cannot get away with things, that you will pick up on any signs that's around them. Like people could say one thing like, oh, I really like that. But then you watch your mannerisms and you're like, you lie. A little bit stressed. a little bit repressed, because when you get quiet and you focus, people could think that you're really riveted and your attention is solely on them. And sometimes it is, but that your ability for analysis is really 9 times out of 10 on point, that people come to you for advice, that you are that person that maybe you don't go seek, oh, let me cure this, let me help that, but that people go, hey, can you cure me? Hey, can you help me with that? That sort of thing. So I feel like you have a very high vibe about you. Somebody here also can be into like astral projection, into the creative arts as well. So I'm seeing painting and fabrics and art, and I'm also seeing the part of your reputation could be that you are just removed from even the things that you do, the things that you achieve with your hands. I feel like you kind of think, well, that's like yesterday's achievement. That's great and cool. Appreciate that. But that you're looking at, how can I improve that? How can I do better today? That you don't compare yourself to other people, but you compare yourself to the best version of yourself in the now, and you move to improve in the future. And so I feel like people secretly love this about you as well. So your secret reputation is that people actually do love you, but they don't really want to say that, or they don't want to appear to be fawning in your general direction or around you. But wherever it is that you happen to work, I feel like people will come to you for approval, for advice, for tidbits, you're like that inner barometer that people would actually listen to, wish that they listened to, because you're the real deal. You will actually do that. You guys are my healers, my energy workers. I feel like you could be psychics, you could be mediums, and I feel also that you look at things on the other side quite easily. So you slip into like the 3D world. Pile number 3. Yeah, it definitely seems like you guys can go in between two worlds. Now, I wanted to let you know also another thing that I downloaded during the midst of all this editing and craziness. And by the way, you're seeing the camera angle differently because I could not get my video editor do what I needed it to do. So we defaulted to the good old tried and true. But one thing that I heard was, I hate to say it, but the word shut up. So I feel like your secret reputation does house some people who would prefer to hear you not speak. Now that's that's almost like an oxymoron, or yeah, it's like counterintuitive. Let me hear you not speak. But I definitely feel like maybe perhaps what it is that you're speaking on, people feel mighty uncomfortable, or they want to fight against. So something about you could be like my truth speakers or my truth sayers, or just once again, super observant. But if this is you, or if this sounds like you, go ahead and join me for the shuffle and your subsequent reading in 3, 2, 1. Welcome, welcome. If you're new to my channel, I do hope that you find something that's helpful, or at the very least, something that is encouraging to you. And for those of you guys that are indeed my repeat offenders, I am so grateful to have you here. Pile number 3, this was the second most difficult video to shoot. Your pile was very challenging. A ton of interruptions, technical issues. I had to resort to plan B, C, D. So I'm going to say that perhaps your secret reputation is that you are prepared for everything, even if things tend to go, quote, south, if things do not go according to your plan, that you have plan B, C, D, E, and G. So regardless of what it is that's going on, your secret reputation is that you do indeed got this, okay? You know how people say, I've got this? All right, moving on. What is your secret reputation? You have the Fates. I was hoping this would come out. Now, pile number 3, this came out in the pre-shuffle. I definitely feel like, star power. What can I say? So people, I feel like you have a lot of jealous people around you, first of all. And second of all, I definitely feel like you are just in your own feels, in your own vibration, in your own, I don't know, like mental space. I feel like you're somebody who is not easily pulled into other people's energy, in other people's spheres. And so that tends to kind of play on people's insecurities, I will say. So I feel like part of your reputation, what your secret reputation is that people feel insecure around you, and you're not even going to notice that you're all about, whatever it is that you're doing, and it will go unnoticed largely by you. But also your secret reputation is that people can be catty with you. They can be catty around you, especially with the message that I got of you to hush up, We're not going to do what other people want simply because that's what they want and they're feeling insecure, are we? Absolutely not. So pile number 3, yin. Yeah. So you have a lot of yin energy and, yin, yang. And I definitely feel like this is like the more feminine, the more receptive. You're in your receptive era. You are in the vibration of number 2. I feel like that is just even like about balancing. Somebody can be seeing 222 right now. Or 230, those could be important numbers to you. But I definitely feel like you have a lot of star power, and that is your secret reputation. I almost said sacred reputation. So perhaps you're very spiritual and people really kind of pedestal you, whether we want to or not. It doesn't make a difference. I feel like you're highly esteemed, but also highly enviable by other people. Now, keep in mind, once again, this is outside perspective. What is your secret reputation? Pile number 3. This one, I'm all smacking my cards. This one came out during the pre-shuffle while I was trying to get organized once again for this part of your reading. And 2 of Cups is that you make like soul connections with everyone, that you have this ability to really not only just acknowledge, but become a part of, to draw people to you magnetically. Part of your reputation and your secret reputation is that you're incredibly magnetic, regardless of how much haters want to say. Don't look at pile number 3. People are going to look at pile number 3. Why? Because you're magnetic. But not only that, not only is it your appearance that magnetizes people, but I definitely feel like you have this element of knowledge, of wisdom, that you're able to connect soul to soul once again. That's why I have the soulmate cards out here. And regardless of how difficult or different you might be apparently to other people. So apparently some people might think that you are difficult. Okay. We'll see where that goes. But even how different that you are to other people, that you find a common line, a common thread, and a silver lining. That if you don't have commonality with other people, that you will find that silver lining that really brings people close to you in a way that's very healing, okay? And that is your secret reputation. What else do we have here? We have the Page of Cups. Yeah, that you are incredibly skilled at really tapping into other people's emotions. And I definitely feel like, once again, the observer and hopefully not the absorber, right? But your secret reputation is that you tend to really observe what is going on and really understand and tap into what people are feeling emotionally. This is a very powerful characteristic that you have about you. And I don't feel like necessarily friends or family are going to be like, oh, they can really tap into how you're feeling emotionally. That is not it. But I definitely feel like that is the gift. And that is the secret reputation that you have, because it's almost like people believe that you're telepathic. Yeah, definitely telepathic, or that you can read their dreams or see them in the dreams. Something about that dream state, something that leaves people feeling vulnerable by the same token. Now, I will say the caveat to that story is that you are only a threat. Your secret reputation is that you could be a threat, that you are a threat simply because other people oppose you. So only basically to your enemies or those that strive to compete with you. I feel like pile number 3, you are definitely in this cooperative energy, especially with spirit. And I feel like you have this ability to enjoy yourself and other people I can't help but get hater vibes here. Okay. So you could attract a lot of hate, a lot of negativity, and not even have an idea. And you're like, well, what did I do? I'm in my own world, just trying to create things and trying to magnetize and trying to be my best and trying to fly with my luminescent wings here. But everybody all bothered for me and about me. Right? So that could be part of what goes on around you. But your secret reputation is, I'm getting a little bit of like my family, especially like my dad's side of the family, where they'd be like, oh, so-and-so and how they are. Just a lot of gossiping, a lot of kind of backbiting, a lot of implying, oh, well, that's, so-and-so. It just wasn't pleasant. So I feel like people could be around that really negatively speak upon you simply, once again, because of jealousy, because they want that vibrancy for themselves and they happen not to possess it. Pile number 3. What is your secret reputation? If you are indeed liking these kind of readings, do take a moment to like, share, comment, subscribe. If you feel so inclined, please do click that little notification bell so that I'm all tickle. Hello. So that you get notified when I drop further readings. Okay. Alrighty then. Keeping it pushing and moving on. You have, this one came out in literally every single pile. You have options and you keep your head on a swivel. I feel like this is more tactical as well. Your secret reputation is that you are indeed tactical. Where other people are playing Connect 4, you, my dear, are engaged in a chess game. Okay. And wow. I'm thinking of the global kind, even of the ethers, okay, where people don't really comprehend on what level you are playing or what it is that you are doing. But this is what your secret reputation is, that you have high connections and places that people don't even try to dream about. They don't really comprehend, especially when it comes to the other side, okay? But these options keep people a little bit surprised that when they look at you, they're like, I don't understand how you bring about these options. And it's because you have this belief, and you guys can have, I'm hearing the word imaginarium. So you might be somebody who is really great in imagining things and manifesting in that style. Okay. But it just comes true. And you could be one of those people that it's like, wow, pile number 3, how do you bring about these really high paying jobs? I don't understand it. We got the same skill levels. I'm even this, and, implying that they're higher, better than you. And it's like, you still get the better pay grade, the better offer, the more lucrative job and things like that. So what is your secret reputation? 8 of Cups, that you will straight walk away if need be, that you could see things coming a mile away, that you really involve spirit in your life, and that you could see things coming to, I want to say, an awful end, but I don't mean that in like an ominous way. I just mean that in a normal 3D way, as in like people aren't getting along, or there are clashes, or you can tell when a business is going to fold, or you can tell when things are just not going right in a marriage, whatever that is to you. And I feel like this is almost like a creature out in the ethers in the sky. And I feel like you can see the signs the same way that the weather tells you, hey, it's gonna rain, temperature drop, barometer, things are going on, your ears are popping. I mean, you can tell that things are gonna happen, and you really adhere by that. And because you act before even trying to second guess, you're very instinctual, I guess is what I'm saying. That's part of your secret reputation. And because of this, people feel like, almost like you can not only read the room, but read the vibration of the world. And something about, what is that called? The pulse of the earth. It doesn't come to mind. The Schumann's resonance. Thank you. So maybe you are somebody who is involved in that, or you really believe in that, and you check on it daily, and you check on it from different parts of the world, because one generates at this part. I don't even know. I don't know all the things, but I've investigated, of course, because I'm nosy like that. You could be someone like that who's really got your finger on the pulse of many different things, but a lot of it astrally. Okay. I also am being told that you get a lot of messages via dreams. So when you dream things and you jot them down, it seems like a lot of things do manifest, or they're very metaphoric, or things come about in a similar fashion that what your dream was about, and seems to be like a common thread. And if you follow it diligently and thoroughly, that you can actually come up with a lot of things that are being revealed in the ethers prior to them being revealed or manifesting onto this 3D earth. I hope that this makes sense to you. Definitely, you guys, pile number 3 are my woo-woo people, such as myself. So you could be psychics, you could be mediums, you could simply be in tune with energy. You can simply read a room. Maybe you read like micro expressions and things like that. Body language. I read a lot of body language, tonality, things like that. So I'm fascinated by all of that. And I collect books on body language anyways, but very riveting. So I definitely feel like you have almost like the answer book for a lot of things, the playbook. You would be like the coach. You guys could be my coaches. You could be my mentors. You could be my leaders, okay? Unconventionally so. So let's see what else we have right here. Pile number 3. The caterpillar. What is your secret reputation? Things will not always be this way. A change is a coming. And I think, and I know that this card tells me so, that you know when changes are coming and you get to unpacking. You're like, yeah, I'm not hanging out for this. I just don't really feel like this is good for me. But you are definitely like a caterpillar. It seems like you are always kind of reinventing yourself, undergoing many changes. You could have had many different phases of changes. Also, you could have altered like your physical appearance in monumental ways to the point where people don't even recognize you now from like 6 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, whatever the case is. This could be in like color, your hair color, your aesthetics, your wardrobe, things like that. And I want to say that you could be a little bit of an extremist, and that's okay as well. But I feel like this is your secret reputation, is that you're not exactly a chameleon, but that you rise to the occasion by evolving, by changing, by growing. And before I turned on this video to do this reading, I actually was looking up videos on Luna moths. So I don't know why, because, my brain, but I love them so much. So if you don't know what they are, you can look them up. But something about that and just the way that you create this metamorphosis for yourself, other people are left puzzled, but other people are also left like wanting to be you. Yeah, so your secret reputation is that other people want to be you. Okay. And I'm talking close friends, close family members, people that would not even tell you that they admire you. Now, I'm going to be really vulnerable with you just because I can, and nobody cares. So I'm just going to tell you that, as in a situation recently where it was very interesting because I found that, some people that I know for a fact don't like me, all of a sudden they're like talking like me. And I'm like, that's very interesting to me, kind of fascinating, because if they imitate you, it's part of that, like, I love you, hate you kind of a thing. And so you could draw the energy, unfortunately, a lot towards you, whether you like it or not. But a lot of mimics around you, a lot of knockoffs. That's so bad. But a lot of like prototypes that are just going to fail because they're not the brand type. They're not the you type. Okay. They're not you, and they'll never be you. That's because we're designed to be individuals ourselves. So you could turn around and find a lot of people that actually trying to jack your style, like the way that you dress, the way that you speak, the way that you command presence in the room, whatever it is. It's like people kind of dabble, and when you're not in the room, they might try on a couple of hats just for size, and I call it dress rehearsal. And inevitably, I feel like you are the type of person that you will catch on to the game and find out that it's been in full swing all along, that they've tried to imitate you. Now, nobody likes a clone, I'm going to have to bring it here, but I'm going to tell you, Kanye West, hate him, love him. I love him, but not the new one that came out after that whole thing with like Balenciaga. Think what you think. That is my 2 cents here. But he's like way taller and he looks way different, and he is all about something different. He hasn't even gone on like real tangents, not the way he used to. That is not the real Kanye. But yeah, so people, when they see characteristics that other people are trying to portray as their own, but they've jacked your style, your method of speech, your method of communicating, the way that you are, whatever it is, your form of walking, running, driving, any of the things, it becomes quite evident that it is not something that is normal. It is something that is contrived. It is exercised and tried on like a cheap dress. So moving on, Griselle. We have Angel. What? Yes. You guys are way connected to spirit. And no wonder that I got that message of like, you shut up. And I'm like, no, you shut up. Now, I'm being led to share with you another thing. This thing has to do with my work, actually. We have this system called Weave, right? And Weave really connects everything, everyone in the office. You can do like a lot of different things, but among one of its main functions is communicating with the patient. Now, if the patient wants to communicate with us via Weave, we can text them, we can send them pictures, whatever, all the things. Now, there are occasions where the patient can actually text the word stop, and the system will automatically acknowledge that, they don't want to be part of the text loop. They don't want to text anymore, whatever, for whatever reason. And it makes me laugh because every time I see a patient text stop, the word stop, I'm like, you stop. But just kidding. So you can have like a quirky sense of humor like that. But the angel right here and the angel right here, hello, spiritual guidance, protection from harm. You are divinely protected regardless of who tries to imitate you or tries to be you. They will never be you. That's just the end of the story. And I feel like you're just going to turn a blind eye and keep it pushing. You're not even worried about it. You've got bigger fish to fry, like being happy in your own skin, like progressing, like moving towards the future in search of your ninth cup. You're not going to stay anywhere where you were unwanted, where you feel like you worked so hard. With the Eight of Cups, emotionally pouring into everything, with Eight of Cups, almost like a mixologist, that you get these drinks all the way perfectly, equally to the rim, and then you stack them accordingly, and they are temperature sensitive, so you're like, okay, they've got to be X amount of degrees, so that when people drink them, they are excellent and beautiful and all the things. You've done all these things, and no matter what you try to do to make it perfect, you never found that happiness. It's always like with a sadness that you are walking away. So in spite of people maybe perhaps thinking that you just walk away from situations, I definitely feel like it's not without a lot of effort, not without a lot of energy, not without a lot of pouring of yourself and giving of yourself and making real attempts to resolve things and to make things better. But once you see that it's going nowhere, your secret reputation, pile number 3, is that you'll straight walk away. And you're not wrong. You're not wrong for that. So that is what I have. Much, much love to you. Until next time, namaste.